Hello everyone, you're watching the Vanarama National League highlights show on BT Sport. Over the next half an hour we'll have all of the best action and reaction from the weekend. Here are the headlines. Late drama as Forest Green win a 5-goal thriller at Barrow. Dagenham and Redbridge topple Tranmere to go third. And two National League sides reach the FA Cup fifth round for the first time. With Lincoln in FA Cup action, second in the table, Forest Green Rovers had the chance to close the gap at the top. But a trip to Holker Street's never easy. On Tuesday in Cumbria, Barrow thrashed the league leaders 3-0. With Mark Cooper's men needing to be in top form, Liam Noble certainly brought his best. This stunning free kick was after only 6 minutes. Barrow were beaten by Southport a fortnight ago, their first home defeat in almost a year. They were on the front foot as Akil Wright attempted the spectacular, but was just off target. Paul Cox's team drew level before the interval. A free kick from Alex Ray Harvey flicked home by Richie Bennett, goal number 9 of the season for him, 1-1 at half-time. The game was quickly becoming a story of set pieces. Noble this time the provider. Christian Deutsch couldn't miss. That's his 11th in his last 11. Another free kick. This time Andy Hayworth's effort was parried by Sam Russell. A victory for the visitors would reduce the gap to Lincoln to only a point, but Barrow had the chance to peg back Rovers again when Moussa Diarra was brought down, penalty given. Ross Hanna stepped up and was denied by Russell before volleying in the rebound, 2-2 with a couple of minutes to go. There was to be late drama. Noble again with the delivery, sub Manny Month with his first goal for Forest Green in the 94th minute. How important could that be come the end of the season?
We always try and play football, but it's really difficult when you come to Barrow. And we didn't have the biggest team in the world, so we were worried about the aerial threat, but we coped with it pretty well. And it wasn't an easy game to play because there were so many stoppages. But I thought in the second half we controlled the vast majority of it and deserved to win.
Two of the top four met at Prenton Park. Tranmere, unbeaten at home under manager Mickey Mellon, taking on Dagenham and Redbridge, who'd won 4 of their last 5 away matches. This was the visitors' first game in a fortnight, but they started brightly. Oliver Hawkins will feel he should have done better. John Still's men made their early pressure count after 24 minutes. Whether this was a cross or a shot, only Corey Whiteley knows. But it deceived Scott Davis in the Tranmere goal as the Daggers broke the deadlock. The away side was sensing a third win on the spin, and Dagenham's dominance was confirmed when Hawkins controlled brilliantly and finished expertly to register his 17th goal of the season and double the lead. The best Tranmere could muster came when James Wallace's header produced quick reactions from Daggers goalkeeper Elliot Justin. The scoreline could have been more flattering as Hawkins spanned a chance to make it 3-0. Still's team laying down a marker for the rest of the division.
Every game that we play now is the biggest game we're going to play, because that's what it's like when you're trying to win promotion or trying to stay up with massive games. So, you know, this is a very, very good win for us. It feels better because it's against a very good side that will be up there challenging. But for me personally, I can only look at my own team and go probably as good an away performance as I could hope for.
All over the pitch, we just looked sort of 10% off of what we know that we're all capable of. All over, we just couldn't really get that spark, and first goal was always going to be very important, and that went to Dagenham. I don't want to take any credit away from the boy. If he's meant to do that, then full credit to him.
Dover Athletics' promotion prospects have taken a hit with back-to-back defeats, and they had reason to fear visitors Chester at Crabble. John McCarthy's men put 5 past them in their last meeting in October. The away side had lost just 3 of their previous 21, and they came closest to breaking the deadlock. A top cross from Johnny Hunt. James Allaby couldn't divert it on target. Chris Kinnear will always fancy his team's chances with Ricky Miller in the 11. Chester keeper Liam Roberts gave the ball straight to Dover's number 9, and that spelled danger as Miller wriggled his way into the area, inviting the challenge from Matty Waters. Penalty to the hosts. There was little doubt that Dover's leading marksman would open the scoring from the spot, goal number 26 of the campaign. But Chester have their own hotshot centre-forward. Alabi received the ball with his back to goal before firing past Steve Arnold with the aid of a deflection. 9 in 10 games for Alabi, Dover's lead lasting only 4 minutes. It took 4 minutes of the second half for the home side to re-establish their advantage, and it was Miller making trouble for Chester again as he drove in his 27th in 27 National League fixtures. Kinnear's surely desperate for the end of the transfer window. Dover made the point safe before the hour mark, the goal of the match from Joe Healy on his full Dover debut. But the focus has to be fully on the division's leading scorer.
Mickey Miller, man of the match, and the match winner for you today.
Man of the match, yeah, but we did win. Well, to be fair, all 3 goals won us the game, didn't they? But no, Mickey Miller, we know what he can do, but he can only do it with the rest of the side doing their bit to help him, really.
I can't ask any more from Man in terms of work rate and effort, and some of the football we had as well. I think Dover will be delighted to get the result and know. You know that we've, that the scoreline does flatter them a little bit.
A rare goal glut for struggling North Ferriby last weekend, scoring 4 times at Southport. But that's half as many as they've managed at Grange Lane all season. Playoff-chasing Macclesfield gave the hosts an early scare as goalkeeper Rory Watson was caught in no man's land. Mitch Hancock's could only head against the crossbar. Chris Holroyd's effort was cleared off the line before Kingsley James's cross gave Hancock's another chance, but he was well wide of the mark. The visitors led after 17 minutes with a set piece off the training ground. Defender George Pilkington with a finishing touch, his first goal in over 10 months. And the game was settled within the opening half an hour. Danny Whitehead drilling past Watson to condemn North Ferriby to a 3rd home loss in a row. Everything going to plan for Macclesfield, until after the game, that is.
Just delighted we won. It wasn't with the weather conditions and the wind. It was never going to be. It was never going to be a particularly pretty game. But I thought we'd done well under the circumstances. We created a lot.
Gateshead fans making the 760-mile round trip to Torquay would have arrived at play more optimistic of an away win, as the hosts had lost their last 3. Neil Aspin's team needed a win realistically to keep up with the top 5, but they were caught out after half an hour. David Fitzpatrick, on loan from AFC Wimbledon, giving Torquay the lead with a clinical finish. Gateshead were given a lifeline after the interval. No complaints from the home side as debutant Aaron Racine chopped down Luke Hannant. Penalty given, Racine injured and unable to continue. Paddy McLaughlin made no mistake from 12 yards as the visitors looked to extend their unbeaten run to 6 matches. But fortune favoured Torquay 5 minutes later as Racine's replacement Paul Rooney was on hand to register his first senior goal and restore their lead. Gateshead were certainly feeling down on their luck when James Bolton's bullet header came back off the crossbar and somehow stayed out. Then from a quickly taken corner, Aspin's men were agonisingly close. That man Bolton again, this time unable to keep the ball down. The travelling fans were left cursing the woodwork once more following a moment of magic from Danny Johnson. And the chase for the equaliser saw Gateshead exposed in stoppage time. The ball given away to Brett Williams, who slotted past Dan Hamford to finish the game off. 3-3 for Williams and 3 points to ease Torquay's relegation fears.
I just asked them to go out and win a fight. It was never going to be the prettiest game. Gateshead are big, strong, know the level well, very experienced manager, and we went out there and we matched them. And if we match teams physically, I would back us to be able to outplay them.
The remit for Martin Allen at Eastleigh is surely a push for promotion, but one win from the first 5 games under his management has seen them slip 8 points off the playoff pace. They welcomed a Woking side who began the day 3rd from bottom of the National League. But Gary Hill's men have only failed to score once on the road this season, and they led after 16 minutes, Gozi Ugwu flashing a header into the back of the Eastleigh net. The hosts offered little in the opening 45 minutes, and Woking came close to doubling their lead after the interval. Ugwu forcing a save from veteran keeper Graham Stack. Panic ensued in the Eastleigh area before they could scramble the ball clear. Alan's team needed a helping hand, and they were given one with a quarter of the game to go. Denon Lewis blocking off Mecky McLeod and picking up a second yellow card. Woking down to 10 men. Eastleigh piled on the pressure, but Woking managed just their second clean sheet in 25 away matches to hang on for the win as they move out of the relegation zone.
We knew it was going to be a tough second half, but we wasn't expecting, to lose a player the way we did, and have to play the last 25 minutes with 10 men against a side which is, with a lot of quality, very physical and strong, and putting balls into the penalty area. But we defended the way what you asked your team to do, not just as a back line, but as a complete team. And as I say, we kept a clean sheet and deservedly won the game.
We didn't pass the ball, we didn't compete. And I would say it was a very disappointing performance. Someone said to me the crowd are quiet, and I didn't think so. If I'd have been them, I'd have probably been giving it plenty on the outside. I'd have paid to watch that.
Wrexham have been on an upward curve since the turn of the year, taking 7 points from their last 3 games. They welcomed a Boreham Wood side who had won only once in 8. The 3 previous league meetings between these two had all ended 1-0 Wrexham, and history seemed destined to repeat itself when the home side were awarded a penalty after Matt Payne brought down Isaiah McLeod. Anthony Barry stepped up to smash his team in front. With time running out and another 1-0 loss on the cards, Boreham Wood found themselves with a penalty of their own. Anthony Jeffrey fouled by Mark Carrington. No nerves from top scorer Morgan Ferrier from the spot, a cool finish for his 9th of the campaign. Deep into added time, the visitors would have been happy with a point, but there was a good chance that would be snatched away when Joe De Vera handled inside the box. Penalty number 2 for Wrexham. This time it was Barry's replacement, John Rooney, to take responsibility, and he wrapped up the points for the hosts. A tale of 3 penalties as Wrexham's resurgence under Dean Keats continues.
Wasn't good enough, even though we were in control of the game. Wasn't good enough, it wasn't quick enough tempo, and warned them what had happened second half, and it came true. But positive is we got a penalty last minute and John scored.
Obviously in the manner we lost, I didn't feel that we deserved to win a game of football, in all honesty. I felt that they caused us problems first half and probably should have been out of sight, but we got ourselves back in the game. We was on the front foot and we looked like the team to go and score. But now the subs come on and done well and got the pen and won you guys the game.
Southport have flirted dangerously with the relegation places throughout the season and had the worst defensive record in the division, with 60 goals conceded before the visit to Bromley. Despite all of that, they took a surprise lead after 22 minutes. Jake Wright getting the better of debutant Alan Dunn to slot past keeper Alan Julian. Bromley are tough to beat at home, having won 4 of their last 5 at Hayes Lane, and they levelled matters 2 minutes later. A great through pass from Louis Dennis found Brandon Hanlon, who was making his debut after joining on loan from Charlton. He fired through the legs of Magnus Norman. Whatever Neil Smith said to his side at half-time, it had an immediate impact. Dennis, from the tightest of angles, finished expertly to put Bromley in front. That's his 4th of the campaign. The hosts increased their lead with their very next attack. Hanlon again on the score sheet after Lee Minshill's shot come cross. Southport did have their chances to get back into the game, but Julian was in no mood to concede any more as he diverted Liam Hines' header round the post. Delight for Smith as his side returned to winning ways after back-to-back defeats.
Maidstone had won only 2 in 16 before last week's victory over Torquay and were desperate for another 3 points to put daylight between themselves and the drop zone. But they were without an away win in 9 league matches, and as fierce rain descended, Solihull grabbed the early advantage. 7 minutes in, and Joel Kettle found himself in the right place at the right time to volley home his first goal at this level. It was all Solihull, and they doubled their lead after half an hour. George Carline timing his run to perfection to head his first for the club past Lee Worgan. Maidstone had their chances and forced referee Thomas Bramall into action when Jamar Loza appeared to be tripped inside the Solihull area, but Bramall was in no doubt and booked Loza for simulation. Solihull claimed a well-deserved victory and move up to 15th, but Jay Saunders' side find themselves deep in a relegation battle.
It's tight down there and everyone seems to be beating everyone, but I think worrying for me is we've not been able to put a consistent run together. We kind of win one, lose one, and that's not good enough. I don't, like I've said all season, I think we're capable of playing at this level, but we just need consistency.
York are bottom of the table, but have given themselves hope of a great escape after beating Barrow last weekend and putting together a 3-match unbeaten run away from home. But Aldershot are a tough proposition at the EBB Stadium, and they had the best chance of the early exchanges. Shamir Fenelon found himself with just Kyle Letheran to beat, but the goalkeeper was equal to it. Aldershot could have been awarded a penalty when Hamza Ben Sharif's arm seemed to stop the flight of the ball, but referee Cole Brook waved away their appeal. In the second half, York thought they'd taken the lead, only for John Parkin's strike to be ruled out for offside. The visitors were impressive going forward and were unlucky again when Vardane Oliver rose highest to head Simon Heslop's cross against the post. York's day ended with striker John Parkin picking up his second yellow for a late challenge on Jim Kellerman. Aldershot were unable to take advantage as the points were shared.
I thought we were excellent today, again, from a performance last week as well. So it's another point for us that's important, and we've got to keep picking points up as we know.
The late winner from Manny Month at Barrow means Forest Green now trail Lincoln by just 1 point at the top, but the league leaders do have 2 games in hand. Dagenham and Redbridge changed places with Tranmere after that important win at Prenton Park, and Dover are back in the playoff positions following their victory over informed Chester. Woking's win at Eastleigh lifted them out of the bottom 4, while Maidstone dropped into the relegation zone. York are still last, but by no means out of it yet. Lincoln were aiming to pull off another FA Cup shock as they took on Championship leaders Brighton and Hove Albion at a sold-out Sincil Bank. Your commentator, Simon Brotherton.
Murray doing his best to hold Bradley Wood at bay, and Brighton and Hove Albion are ahead. Richie Towell, first time into the back of the net. It's Lincoln City 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. And Richie Towell celebrates his first Brighton goal. And Park keeps his eye on that one and makes the save, and the referee has given a penalty kick. Let's have a look again as it comes into the penalty area. Murray grabbing hold of Robinson is penalised by the referee. 1-1, game on. Superb penalty, and Alan Power brings Lincoln City right back into this one. Arnold with the ball at his feet, he'll love that. It's a dangerous looking ball. Oh, it's an own goal! Unbelievable! It's an own goal of the debutant, Fikayo Tomori. In the space of a few minutes, Lincoln City have turned this tie around. An own goal separating the two teams. Might get worse for them here. It's Robinson, it's 3, it's all over for Brighton. And Lincoln City, for the first time in 115 years, are surely through now to the last 16 in the FA Cup.
You always go into games thinking you've got a chance. You know, we were planned, we were organised, the boys were obviously highly motivated, so you always got a chance. realistically, no, listen, I'm surprised. You know, I have to say that not often football surprises me, but today, yeah, I thought the level that we got to, particularly second half, was fantastic.
Also flying the flag for the National League was Sutton, the lowest ranked club left in the FA Cup. They were hoping to follow Lincoln into the 5th round as they faced Championship side Leeds United. Your commentary for this one comes from Adam Virgo and John Champion.
Dan Spence. Here's Biamu. And Rory Deacon! Flags up. The joy is quickly going to be cut short when they turn round and look at Ian Hussin.
Just that one long ball from Spence over the top. You see the back four very square. That is extremely tight.
Oh, hesitation. And a challenge that the referee is asked to adjudicate on. Biamu went down. Penalty given. It took an age for Stuart Atwell to come to that conclusion. But Sutton United have a penalty against a team 84 places higher on the league ladder. What now? Collins scores! And Sutton have something to shout about now. The spirit of Hanlon and Rains re-invoked.
Well, this is what you need in these situations. Your captain to take responsibility and hit a quality penalty.
Eastmond, tripped by Liam Cooper, who's on a yellow card. He's going to go here. Leeds troubles deepen, they're down to 10. And with their captain may go their hopes.
Well, it certainly was another yellow card. It's now culminated into a red card for the captain, Liam Cooper.
The party is about to be launched. The joy of the Cup, as we said at the start, is that it can bestow on clubs a day that will last a lifetime in the memory. Sutton United have ridden their magic carpet into round 5 of the FA Cup. It's a super day for the non-leaguers.
We always felt we would get some chances. I thought the first half in particular, we had 3 or 4. But it's always a question, could we nab the goal? And once we did it, I thought we kept our shape and played very, very well.
So congratulations to Lincoln and Sutton, both into the last 16 of the FA Cup. Our next Vanarama National League live action is Saturday, February 11th as Chester take on Gateshead at the Diva Stadium, exclusively live on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD from 11:45 AM. That's all we've got time for this week. We'll see you again soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.